All right, Digital Arts 2, this is the video for Section 4, Assignment 4A. First, we're going to start out with setting up our Inkscape document. So we want to go ahead and go to File, Document Properties, and now we're going to be, let's see, we need to find the orientation and set this up, right here. So page orientation, and we're going to select Landscape to make it a little longer widthwise. And so we set that up to landscape. Then we're going to go to our layers panel. Open up your layers panel, and we're going to click to select layer 1 and rename that to background. Then we're going to add a new layer and call this bitmap, and add one more layer called, let's see here, traced. So you should have 3 layers now, and they should be in this exact order: traced on top, then bitmap, then background. Okay, then I want to select my background layer to make sure I'm working on that layer only. And I'm going to use my rectangle tool, and I'm going to click and drag so that I have a rectangle over my entire workspace. And so make your adjustments if you need to make sure the rectangle covers the entire page. Then open your Fill and Stroke panel, which I am drawing a blank all of a sudden on where that is. There it is. Under Object, Fill and Stroke. And go ahead, turn your stroke off. So I want under Stroke Style, we can just go ahead and put in 0 there to give us no stroke. And then for fill, make sure fill this rectangle to be whatever color you so desire. And next we're going to grab our gradient tool and just click and drag to create a gradient on your page, except I'm going to undo that because I want to make sure I have linear gradient selected and not radial gradient. So click and drag to apply your gradient. You can adjust those handles as you see fit, and then somewhere on this gradient line, double click and then click again to select that gradient stop, and you're going to adjust the colors of your gradient there, and then also apply a different color to the end stop. So adjust your gradients until you get the colors that you like. And once you get your background and gradients set up the way you like, go back to your layers panel here and go ahead and lock your background layer. Now we're going to select our bitmap layer and import an image. So go up to File, Import, and we want to make sure that we're using our Section 3 folder here to choose an image. So choose of these 3 different images, or 4 different images that you would like to use. Choose whatever image you would like to do and hit Open to put that object on our background. And while we're at this point, we're going to go ahead and go to Save As and save this. I need to make a new folder here. Section 4, and we're going to call this Variety. Okay, now with our bitmap image selected, we're going to go up to the Path menu and go down to Trace Bitmap. Use that selection. Make sure that brightness cutoff is selected, and then in the brightness cutoff threshold field, we're going to delete this number and type in 0.5, and then click Update to kind of preview what your image is going to look like. So then, do you like the way the image looks? If so, skip this step. If not, go back to steps 4 and use a different threshold. So you can vary the amount of threshold we have. Obviously, 1's a little much. Let's try 0.75. So you can kind of see the difference there. As we lower the threshold, we lose detail of our fish. So adjust the threshold however you want. I'm going to keep it at 0.5 and say OK. So then you can go ahead and close your dialog box, and you can see that it traced our bitmap image for us right here. So now we can, it actually created a layer, the trace layer on top of our original image, so we can Drag those side by side and zoom in a little bit here and see if we like what we see. If you like the smoothness, or maybe if it's not quite right, you can go back and repeat some of those steps and change the threshold if you wish. But now we want to move this to our traced layer. So go ahead and with our traced image selected, go up to Edit and Cut. And then on our Layers menu, select the traced layer. And then click Edit and Paste in Place. And that just pastes that image onto our traced layer. So once you've got that placed on the traced layer, we can go ahead and delete our bitmap image. And now we're going to align this traced image. So make sure again that this traced image is selected. Click the Object menu and click Align and Distribute on our Object menu. And in that panel, click the Relative to drop-down list and click Page. So that's already selected for us. Click the Align Left Edges button, which looks like this one here. Align left edges, okay. Now the traced image's left edges lines up with the left edge of the page, as you can see. And now click the Align Top Edges button, which is this one here. And the traced image's top edges line up with the top edge of the page. And next we're going to then clone our traced image. So make sure again that your traced image is selected. Then go up to the Edit menu and click on Clone and select Create Tiled Clones. So like we did with our last assignment. And in this dialog box, make sure the Symmetry tab is selected, which it is. Make sure the Symmetry drop-down list is set to P1, which mine is, so make sure that it's on P1. Click Rows, Columns to select it, and then set these two fields to 2 and 3. So we want 2 here and 3 here, and then click Create. So you can see our fish duplicates on our page. And then remember that our original image is underneath our top left image here, just like it was on the assignment where we created the pattern. So we're going to select this top left corner and hit delete, so that deletes the top image. That way our original image is still here that we can work with. And I'm going to zoom out a little bit here so we can see our page. And let's resize this one so that all of our clone images fit on one page. So you need to bring this in a little more. That's pretty good. Then we'll adjust them here in a bit. So while all these images are still linked, make any adjustments that you want to apply to all the images. So if you want to change the color at all or anything, make those changes while these images are still linked, because we are going to unlink these images. So I'm going to add some different color to my object here. So go ahead and make adjustments as you would like. And now we're going to unlink all of our tiles, so that we can just make adjustments to them individually. So press Ctrl-A in order to select all of our images. And under the Edit menu, we're going to go down to Clone and click Unlink Clone. And so now each of the clones becomes a separate object. So now changes that we make to the original image won't affect or change all of our other images. And now's the time when we can really move these a little easier to get them all on the page. So go ahead and make sure that all of your images fit well on the page. I'm going to just kind of make mine nice and bring them evenly distributed along the page here, like so. Next, we're going to add a drop shadow to all of the images. So click somewhere on the page and then hit Ctrl-A to select all of our images. And we're going to go up to Filters, Shadows and Glows, and go down to Drop Shadow. And on this checkbox, go ahead and select that checkbox so you can see kind of a preview of what you're dealing with. And go ahead then and you can adjust your blur radius and your horizontal offset, vertical offset, and you can really just kind of make adjustments to the shadow any way you see fit here. So go ahead and play with those as much as you want. And when you get the shadow the way you like it, go ahead and hit apply and close that. And then click off to the side to deselect all of our images. Okay, so now we're at the point where you get to be creative. So now you're going to add variety to all these fish, which is what you should have learned about in your text about variety in art. So go ahead and select an image, and you can apply different colors, strokes, whatever you wish, whatever you want to do to just go ahead and make changes to each fish. You can, again, you can apply a stroke, you can apply different filters. That's kind of cool. So each one of your fish, or whatever object you choose, I want you to apply different colors, different filters, change them up somehow, and you should have, each fish should look totally different from the first one. Alright, so once you've added variety to your artwork, go up to File and Save. And the last step of this assignment is to export this as a bitmap. So with nothing selected, make sure you hit Control A to select everything, and then go up to File, Export Bitmap, and then we're going to save this in Section 4, your Section 4 folder, and this should be named Variety. Hit Save and Export. Wait while it exports. Done. Okay, then go ahead and close that. Save one more time, and let's double check to see if that was added to our folder here. Digital Art, Section 4. And there's my variety image. Okay, so go ahead and save those files, zip them together, and submit that for assignment 4A.